Hello and welcome to the CTM News Break, where we keep you up to date on what's happening right here in town. I'm Diane Sherritt-Steimel. The news that an asphalt plant will open in Westford has infuriated some of their Chelmsford neighbors who live near the proposed site, and hundreds of people from both towns held a protest recently. Their concerns, health and environmental effects, as well as the potential impact on property values. Angry neighbors making clear how they feel about the controversial settlement between Westford and Nashua-based Newport Materials.
And so we're really here just to voice our concerns and to ask our town government to please reconsider their actions and to listen to what we have to say. We're concerned about our health, our property values, our quality of life. We don't feel this asphalt plant fits in with our community character. And we would really like them to reconsider their decision to settle.
We've looked at a number of issues that we believe just doesn't make it appropriate for this community's character. It's just not appropriate to put here.
After a 6-year legal fight, Westford announced that Newport Materials will be permitted to open the asphalt manufacturing plant at its Groton Road property near Fletcher's Quarry, a decision neighbors are determined to fight, even though the town would place restrictions on the project and receive benefits from the company. In addition to these demonstrators, 1,700 people signed an online petition against the settlement agreement, and hundreds turned out for a public meeting to voice their concerns. Some opponents of the site feel they were ignored during the mediation process and are challenging the decision.
We feel they really sort of snuck around behind our back, knowing full well that we didn't want it, and reached a settlement with this corporation anyway, and we're very disappointed in that.
After all the intense pressure, Westford officials say they'll try to pull out of that deal with Newport Materials. In other news, McCarthy Middle School formally took on their role as a regional model school for Project Fit America with an opening day kickoff and fitness celebration.
1, 2, 3.
Students demonstrated exercises on their new outdoor fitness equipment. Pat Patriot from the New England Patriots was there, along with school officials and representatives from Lowell General Hospital.
Our PE staff worked awfully hard putting this grant together, along with Katie Sims, the department coordinator of PE and Health. So again, this is just a celebration of a nice partnership between the school and Lowell General Hospital and the greater community.
Project Fit America creates and donates fitness programs to schools to help kids be more active, fit, and healthy. There was lots of spooky fun as the Chelmsford Center for the Arts hosted a Witches' Night Out. Guests enjoyed the music of Silverlock and the Zodiac Club, shopped the magical marketplace in the Batty Ballroom, and had food and beverage from the Cash Potion Bar. It was all to benefit the CCA, which relies on the support of area residents to provide world-class entertainment to the people of Chelmsford and the Merrimack Valley. And finally, pumpkin season has come and gone. And once again, the Chelmsford Open Space Stewardship and Jones Farm helped local residents have a smashing good time.
1, 2, 3, go!
This year's Air Pumpkin at Parley Field, where they tossed and smashed old pumpkins and jack-o'-lanterns.
This is the 6th annual Air Pumpkin event of the Chelmsford Open Space Stewardship, and we've got, I don't know, probably 50 people here now, and we'll probably have another 50. We're reusing the pumpkins that we had at our Pumpkin Armada event in town last week, and they were also recycled at Hunt for a Cure at the Paul Center, so we're all about recycling, and what smashes in the field will be ground in and to help the farmer grow.
Wow! That might have been the farthest one!
They say it's a fun and creative way to recycle old pumpkins that have served their purpose and need to be disposed of. Thanks for watching the CTM News Break, brought to you by Chelmsford Telemedia. If you have news we could use, contact us at newsbreak@chelmsfordtv.org. I'm Diane Sherritt-Steimel.
Good evening, everyone. It's April 5th, 2016, and two things of import have happened today. The first is that the Red Sox opened their season and won their first game, 6-2. Go Sox. The second is that the town of Chelmsford held its annual spring town election, and we're here to give you live coverage and live results. And with me is the inestimable Glenn Thorne.
I'm going to have to look that up after we talk tonight.
Unlike days gone by when we had to have people run in from points far afield, Vinyl Square, and where have you.
I was one of those runners many times.
We expect to be able to bring you the results pretty quickly, and in fact, we already have precinct 1 results are already in. You can see them there on your screen. Pat Wojcik eking out a victory, Glenn Diggs in second place, and Sandy Martinez a fairly distant third. As we were mentioning at the top of the program, the selectmen's race was a contested race, and probably least likely to be contested, except for the untimely death of Bill Spence, was the constable race. And it appears that the winner of that will be Charlie Wojcik. And
yes, indeed.
As luck would have
And
it,
guess
Charlie
who showed up?
Charlie is here.
Congratulations,
welcome.
Charlie.
Thank you guys
Congratulations.
very much.
You're welcome.
What prompted you to run for this?
I just like Bill Spence so much. I figured I'd do something that he did because he seemed to enjoy it, and I really like his daughter Sandy. Talked to Sandy at length about it and figured out what it was
you knew
about.
what you were getting into, Charlie,
Yeah,
right?
I knew a little bit about it.
Yeah.
So
Were you surprised that it attracted 4 candidates?
no, I thought there'd be like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm amazed, and I'm just amazed that I won too, because there were 4 candidates. There's 4 good people running.
Yeah.
So as I promised your sister I wouldn't mention it, it's all the Wojcik signs around town that got people aware that you were running for
It
constable,
probably
right?
was. It probably was my sister's dime, and I went on my sister's
I
dime.
thought that was great strategy on your part.
Hey, farmers know what they're doing.
So
They're
tell us, all right, so I know you've done some research here. I think a lot of people really don't know what the constable does, so
delivers a
inform us.
lot of papers, and I was told mostly for Owen Arena. You work in the town, you deliver papers in the town for Owen Arena, mostly.
So if the constable's coming up to our door, is that a good or bad thing?
It's probably a bad thing.
Okay.
So you better run.
So I have to say, we're seeing now, we have all 9 of the precincts reporting.
There's
and,
the constable's race, and that's pretty clear.
Pretty
That's-
clear.
that's
You
a
almost
significant
cracked that
margin.
1,000 vote mark. It was a light turnout day, but it's a pretty clear victory for you. And I think it's going to be great to see you around more often. And it looks like your sister Pat won the
Pat won
bragging
also.
rights.
Welcome to Chelmsford Telemedia's coverage of Independence Day, direct from the Town Common in Chelmsford, Massachusetts.
This is the time between the road race finishing, and I think everybody is finally in. I don't see any. Well, I do see a couple of stragglers. Yeah, a couple of. They're kind of moseying.
They're walking.
You can tell because they've got numbers on, but they'll make it.
And they're smiling.
Yes, they are. Between that and the beginning of the parade, which technically has begun, but they're not down here yet. So what we'd like to do now is show you a little something from some Minutemen reenactors from the area.
And I have found the real deal here. Well, all right, so as we were saying, G.I. Joe before the G.I., right? So, Joe, tell me about your group here.
We're part of the 6th Middlesex Regiment, and we're actually formed as a replica unit from the 6th Middlesex Regiment that actually existed in 1774. We're composed of several towns, including Chelmsford. We're registered here as the Chelmsford Minutemen, because whichever town we're in, we go by that town name, of course. And we're all of 6th Middlesex, so all the towns there got together. And our main mission as a militia unit, we protected the towns against Indian attacks. Not so much against the British, because we were all British citizens, even though we housed some of the British soldiers by force. Now, as far as our outfits are concerned, we have the typical dress. Some of us have British weapons, muskets. They're called the Brown Besses. Those are the brass fittings. What I have is from France. It's French Charleville. And French Charleville was used in the French and American War, or French and Indian War, excuse me. And during the right after the Revolutionary War started, Martha Washington actually bought all of our weapons for us because George didn't have a lot of money and the Congress didn't have anything in the coffers, but Martha was rich.
So Martha put up the funds.
That's right. A lot of people don't know that.
I did not know that. Go Martha.
Yeah, she's cool.
So talk to me about the details. I love what everyone is wearing, and it seems to be very authentically put together.
Yes, what we have is exact replicas. A lot of us make our own outfits. You can buy them. I told you a little bit about the weapon. A lot of us have tomahawks, which you're supposed to have at least two other weapons. I also have a rifleman's knife, which is kind of like the Indiana Jones type knife, which is not small.
Yeah.
So it's for defense, because with the musket you can only shoot maybe 3 rounds a minute. That's our rapid fire.
Yeah.
So when they're starting to come close and you don't have a bayonet, which a lot of us didn't have back then we use our other weapons to defend ourselves and to carry off the oncomers, the Indians or whatever.
Okay, so talk to me about the knee socks. Would it be better to just have long pants and short socks?
That's too much. Material costs so much money, and the knee socks are easy to clean. We wear these for months at a time. And the jackets, for example, I have a convertible jacket because I'm very poor, so when I'm working, I just take the sleeves off, because you can't take the jacket off, otherwise you'd be showing your underwear, because that's what's underneath is our nightshirt.
Right, because it was a completely different time. Now, I see that we got some fancy spats over there. Talk to me about the spats.
Well, the spats are used mostly by the farmers when they go out in the field to keep the burrs off of their legs. And they're also more easily washable. And also, if the snakes come out and bite, they can't bite through the spats too easy.
Oh, we don't really want to talk about those snakes.
No, and the shoes, believe it or not, our shoes, traditional ones like the ones I have, fit on either one of the feet.
Stop it!
Yeah, because they didn't know how to make shoes for the left and right at the time. So they'd make just a basic pattern, and then when you put them on, you can get them all soaking wet, and then when they shrink, they kind of shrink to your form fit, and after a while, they kind of fit okay.
It sounds like they'd be kind of clumpy.
They're very uncomfortable.
Coming up is one of 3 great Minutemen troops we have. These are the Acton Minutemen. They were the first to fight against the British regulars at the Old North Bridge in Concord, and they were fighting under their leader Isaac Davis, who was killed by a musket ball. He was the first commissioned officer to die for his country. Today we honor his legacy by remembering his courage and the brave deeds of all the colonial soldiers who willingly put their lives on the line on April 19, 1775, in the minds of some, the true beginning of our country. We know that at least 2 Chelmsford groups of militia, one led by Captain Oliver Barron and the other by Colonel Moses Parker, entered the battle at Concord. Record shows at least about 12 people who marched down with him. And of course, they had to march to get down to Concord. So thank you, gentlemen. I think we're about done here, Jim, until next year. I wish you a happy summer and happy 4th of July, everybody.
Hello. Welcome to the Chelmsford Public Schools Fine and Performing Arts Department TV show, Spotlight on Fine Arts. My name is Jenna Bergoli. This month, we will be talking to some talented CHS students who are also involved in the children's play. We're also going to meet some members of the CHS marching band who recently hosted their band camp. So now on to this first episode of this academic year.
Hannah Goodwin. Did you know that the Chelmsford High School Band, Chorus, and Orchestra are performing at Disney World this spring? The marching band is preparing for their trip by playing to the music of Aladdin at this year's halftime show. It's a whole new world of fun on the field. Let's join the band director, Matthew Sexauer, the 2 drum majors, Megan Long and David Cody, and freshman Natalie Tierney.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the first Spotlight on Fine Arts of this academic year. My name is Christy Whittlesey, and I'm the Fine and Performing Arts Coordinator of the Chelmsford Public Schools. And it's my pleasure to welcome these talented student musicians and their director to our show. So welcome, I'm so glad you could be here.
We're playing an arrangement of the music from Aladdin. It's a little bit of a spin on the music. It's got like a Latin jazz feel to it, so it's a really cool arrangement. But we like to use Disney music in the fall of the years that we're going to it on a Disney trip to sort of hype up the trip and just kind of make it more magical that way.
And so we're going to show this little clip from band camp, some behind the scenes, and people will see the students dressed in Disney attire, and that was the one day that everybody dresses up in costume, right?
No, I think freshmen can stay in.
Yeah.
Just
You get like one house. Okay. Thanks,
Yeah. Okay.
So y'all messed
Things
up.
we do for you.
What's the name of this freaky game? It's called what? The...
Right now, the band is going to march the show up to set 13 while singing their parts in perfect harmony and perfect pitch. Drumline play on the rims. And footward, march. Backward, march. Left slide, march. Footward, march. Footward, march. Left flank, march. Right flank, march. Mark top, foot. Detail, foot. Declare a 3-way win right here.
Thank you to everyone in the community who supports our Chelmsford Theater, and we will see you next time on Spotlight on Fine Arts.